So it really was a solution to a problem that he was having, which I think is a typical story for a true entrepreneur.
It's just amazing how, there are so many different ways to generate revenue, right?
You're listening to E-Commerce Uncensored with Kevin Manel and Jason Caruso.
Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us on another episode of E-Commerce Uncensored. This is episode number 207. My name's Kevin Manel, and I'm here with
Jason Caruso.
a mouthful of pizza.
Yeah,
Tried
were
to
you
wait
like
for you.
concerned? I was going to say that. I was going to say that without unmuting myself. You probably thought
No,
that,
I
right?
was afraid that you were going to say that with a mouthful of food, and you almost did. I timed it perfectly.
Am I the only one that eats on this planet?
My professional manner timed it perfectly, so you were done chewing as soon as it was your turn to speak.
Tell you what, you are amazing.
I'm quite the host.
You are. You're an amazing guy.
Well, thanks, Jason.
Yeah.
Today we're joined with Christine Ott. She works sales and marketing for a company called a product called Airbedz, which was company air mattress.
Blah, 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 blah.
See, I was telling you how great of a host I am.
Yeah, right. I just can't talk. Still working on English.
A guy who developed an airbed product that fits right in the back of your pickup truck. He was on Shark Tank several years ago. Pretty brutal episode too. Like they were pretty hard on him. I thought the Mr. Wonderful was pretty hard on him. So
Yeah, I keep saying we keep getting these people on Shark Tank, but I'm like thinking, is Jen just going after Shark Tank people?
Yeah, I think she just watches a lot of Shark Tank, I guess.
Maybe.
That's cool. I mean, I always watch Shark Tank and I always then search where are they now? So it's kind of cool to hear what happens afterwards. I mean, I've yet to hear a good experience, I guess, from it. So we're still waiting for that. But she was really nice. She wasn't with the company for that long, but she, it's an interesting story because she doesn't really have any kind of digital marketing stuff going on right now. So they're still able to create a really successful business. And I think we talked to them afterwards. There's quite a opportunity for her. But before we get started, I think that Jason, you should talk a little bit about your Facebook ad course, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's funny. We've been playing a lot around with pricing, Kevin.
Mm-hmm. We have.
And I lowered the pricing a little bit. And then all of a sudden, we've been bouncing it around and it's stopped at the higher priced, or we've been at the highest price point. And we're like, okay, let's play around with the pricing. We brought the price down. And all of a sudden, boom, 2 people joined yesterday, which is crazy.
There you go.
Go check it out at ecommerceuncensored.com/truth. It's funny because we always say pricing, it's important, right? You can't sell like a Ford, whatever, like a Ford Explorer, which I have. It's a $55,000 vehicle.
Yeah, all right. Jesus.
Yeah. You can't sell it for $200,000. People aren't going to buy it, right? So there is a sweet spot, and it appears that the sweet spot is where it is right now. So go check it out at ecommerceuncensored.com/truth.
Yeah, and you got a fresh new video after you lost the first one, remember? That was good.
2 videos are brand new.
Nice.
Yeah.
So here is our interview with Christine Ott. Enjoy. Hey, Christine, how you doing today? Thanks so much for being on.
I'm good. Thank you for having us.
Cool. I always do a little bit of research beforehand, more research than Jason usually does. But I watched Jim, the owner of the company, was on Shark Tank several years ago. So he seems like he has a pretty interesting story, and he's been around for quite some time with this product. So if you can just give us a little bit of background about the company and kind of his story would be really cool to hear.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's been in business about 20 years, a little over 20 years. And he did share a story with me, which is kind of a cute story. He was out on the Colorado River with his girlfriend, and they were coming toward evening, and she wanted to go get a hotel room, but he thought it would be much more interesting to just stay by the river and camp and sleep in the truck and listen to the water, all those romantic things. So they went out to a big box store and bought a mattress. And then went back to the river, put it in the truck, but found out that it was like sleeping in a taco is what he described because they kept rolling to the middle.
Right.
So not comfortable, you know, and he's like, yeah, when you're dating, it's okay to be that close. But then they went out another time. They camp a lot and they're outdoor people. So they went and bought a different mattress that was smaller. And it really wasn't the answer either. You're in the back of the pickup truck. You don't have all the space that you could use. So he started thinking about what a solution would be for that and came up with the idea of a mattress that would actually fit over the wheel wells in the back of the pickup. So you'd have the entire bed to use. And he went and checked out the patents for that, and Airbedz was created. So it really was a solution to a problem that he was having, which I think is a typical story for a true entrepreneur. And then he jumped in and started making Airbedz mattresses, and he's been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah, scratch your own itch, right? Basically.
Absolutely. And it's a great solution. I have one. And we're not, you know, I shouldn't say it, but we do spend some time outdoors. We're more hikers, but I have found that my Airbedz I use for events, even just going to the winery if you can't go in, you know, just kind of hanging out and spending time with your friends. It's perfect for tailgating. It's not necessarily just an overlanding or camping type of product.
It's funny. It's like one of those products, and I saw it. I remember actually seeing the original episode. I think Jason said too, is seeing his original episode on Shark Tank. My wife said the same thing, and it's really one of those products. You're like, damn, why didn't I think of that kind of thing? Right.
No, it's true. It's simple in its own way, and then it's not an issue. But you have to have a lot of different varieties for all the different type of vehicles that people drive. So where the wheel wells are cut out is different for every truck. So that's one where you have quite a few different versions of each mattress. But then he went on, which I think is wonderful, to create an XUV mattress. So it goes in the back of Jeeps and crossover vehicles, SUVs, that kind of thing. So he's answered that. Depending on what kind of vehicle you have, he's got a mattress for it. And then he also created a truck mat and backseat mattress for cars. So it's really anything that you want to do. They're pet-friendly versions, and you know, I'm not the worst driver in the world, but you put the dog in the back seat and they kind of have a tendency to fall off the back of the seat and hit those wells in the back. But this mattress fills up that whole space, and they're wonderful, really comfortable, even just great for traveling, keeping your kids busy, coloring and that kind of thing.
You know what would be cool? Like if he can invent one or create one that just molds to the back of a vehicle so that you wouldn't have to create all these different versions and worry about whether or not it's going to work with your truck or not. I don't know if it's even possible, but that might be something cool.
Yeah,
no, absolutely.
Those guys when I watched the episode, especially Mr. Wonderful on there, he was tough on Jim. And I didn't really get like what he was talking about with this small market and all this stuff. My biggest thing was actually what you just said, is like, how is it going to fit in every single, you know, possible truck bed that exists? But my mind, I was like, wow, this could be used for this. Like I remember in college, I went to like, I went to the drive-in. There's like one drive-in that's not too far, Warwick, over by Jason, actually, not far from Jason in Warwick. And I remember just getting like some blankets and pillows and just putting in the back of my pickup. And this would actually just be perfect. I feel like there's so many different applications for this.
Yeah. So, and I'm really glad that you brought that up, because we do have actually one picture of people at a drive-in. Not that it's, you know, the most popular thing anymore, but there's still drive-ins out there, and it's perfect.
Yeah, there's one, like you said, there's one right near my house. And Kevin, what kind of other things are you thinking about doing on this air mattress driving?
The sky's the limit,
man. There's a place where we stop the conversation.
I mean, it's just, I found them very closed-minded when they were having this conversation. And in my mind, my mind ran like the tailgating aspect of it that you're using now. Like, I love tailgating. I was actually just talking to somebody about going to sporting events again. Actually, it was my barber, my hairdresser now that I have long hair, Jason. We were talking about going to games, and like, you know, tailgating at these games is like really the most important part of it for me.
It really is.
Going to the game is secondary. Now, if you could tell me that I can go to the game and tailgate and I can actually lay down, like that's next level type stuff.
Especially if you get drunk.
I know. What do you do, right? That's why we took it to the wineries.
It may not even
we
make
actually
it
had
into
one
the
friend
game.
that went and took a nap.
Yeah, exactly.
Come back in when you're ready to go again. But we were even talking, I don't know how many people are doing this, but there's people that have big screen TVs that they might put in their garage. I mean, you really could tailgate even now by just pulling up pickup trucks in the driveway and, you know, get comfortable, and at least you feel like you're tailgating.
Oh, that's awesome.
So before we got on, you kind of told us that you know, you've been with the company for like a year or so now, and you know, you're kind of in a position where you're kind of going over into the social media. You haven't really done too much paid advertising yet, or we didn't actually mention email yet, but you're not using any of those things that are kind of, for us, you know, the standard marketing things that we do. So what have you guys done up to this point to get to be a successful company? You said, you know, your revenue is, you know, 7 figures, at least. What kind of things, marketing things, have you done outside of these paid ads that has gotten to you to this point?
Yeah, we've got a lot of really good resellers, so it's out there on quite a few different e-commerce sites. So people are seeing it, and it's in combination with truck bed tents and like truck toppers, and we're showing the different ways that it can be used. But we have quite a few different resellers that are in that world that are getting the word out there and selling to their customer base. And we've done a ton of trade shows. Jim is really prolific as far as trade shows are concerned. SEMA, some of the big automotive shows, and some of the overlanding type shows. He's been to quite a few different trade shows, and that has helped, I think, as well, to get the word out there, especially in the world of people that want to resell the product. And then consumers have a tendency to walk those shows as well and see this particular product. And what we find is that it is one of those that you have to see it. And once people see it in person, they want one. So the disconnect maybe between seeing a picture of what this is and then actually touching, feeling, and seeing it blow up in the back of a pickup is pretty awesome. You know, it just got a valve you turn and the mattress inflates in the back of the pickup. It takes about 3 minutes, and you think, oh my goodness, this is so simple, I have to have one.
I mean, you could do that. You could do that with a nice video too. I mean, on social media, you know, just create a nice video of that happening. And we do have actually some people have done. Our customers have actually done that for us, and those are the videos and the posts that are getting a lot of hits, and people are viewing those. But I kind of feel like we're a little bit at the start of that process. Now it's starting to grow, and people are starting to see it, but it's a little bit of a slow-moving animal if we don't have people, or, you know, a person that can commit all their time to doing that the right way. And then we are, you know, working on getting our customers to send in more images of them out enjoying the mattresses, so we have more lifestyle photos, and then people really get how these are supposed to be used, and they see people enjoying them, so then they want one too. So I kind of feel like we're just getting that rolling. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to me how, like Kevin said, you know, for us, we, you know, digital is just like, it's almost like, you know, that's the only thing for us, right? It's just amazing how, you know, there are so many different ways to generate revenue, right? It's not just digital, it's not just online. Obviously, you know, retail, the Walmarts of the world, the Camping Worlds, you know, those kind of people. But it just seems like you have such like amazing opportunity on social.
Right. I can see Jason like licking his chops.
I know.
Like, wow, there's a whole section of this that's you know, that's low hanging fruit that's there for you.
Well,
yeah, and that's probably, I would assume, how you guys have you know, have gotten the word out there on whatever you're working on too, is the social media side.
Well, we went from 0 to 2 million in 1 year. So
wow.
Yeah, like it wasn't even like, you know, if you can. I teach a Facebook course, and I tell, you know, my students that, you know, look, if you have the right offer, like you have like an irresistible offer, you could scale to whatever the hell you want. It's just a matter of finding the right offer and getting it in front of the right people. And then there's really no time limit, right? It's just like you just spend more and you make more. So, you know, we were spending like $5,000 a day. So
you know, we're kind of going through it a little bit too, and it might have been something that, you know, Jim had to go through at the beginning, is like when you have one product, that's where it can get difficult. And it seems like to me, by looking at your site, that you've actually expanded on your product line, but like the mattress is still like your, you know, what is it called, your product, your premier product, or your what is the name?
Hero
yeah, something like that. And you've kind of branched out a little bit. into other, I see you have like truck bed tents and
Right.
all kinds of things, and you have like this, which I love, is like a float that holds drinks.
Oh, you got to have
it's
that,
like a
right?
cooler.
I know.
We just got back from Aruba not that long ago, and we bought like a raft. The rafts that have like the little almost like cup holders all throughout them, kind of like the mattress, but they're actually indented so you can put beers and stuff in them.
Yeah.
We actually used that as like our cooler. We strapped it to a rock in the ocean.
That's great.
So it wouldn't go away. So this would have been perfect for that. But
yeah, and they have handles so to make it easy so you don't lose your ice chest. But the River Drifter series is amazing. And like you said, I think that's one of those deals that we have the River Drifter series. So what do you do when you get there? You get to this amazing place and you've got your mattress and you're all set up and good to go. But if there's a lake or river handy, this is something that you need.
Yeah, it just shows like you probably have like a list of customers that you've sold to over the years that they're just waiting to be, I wouldn't say waiting, but they're ready probably to buy something else from you. And some of these other things, it's not like you went off and made golf clubs. Like you made something that, is right along with your audience. So
yeah,
that's a big opportunity.
No, you're right. And it's about the camping experience. And there's going to be new product development. So in that same vein of what else can we create for our customers to help them enjoy their trip or their event or whatever they might be doing. So that is definitely something that's going to continue to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, that's always the tricky part is like, how do you, the main thing or the trick with digital is, right? Like, how do you pull the most money out of every customer on that initial sale, right? Because if you can like spend $1 on the internet and you could just get back, either that $1 or $2, you basically have a multi-million-dollar business because, your marketing is free, right? Because you spend $1, you get back $1, it's free. And then you could sell them other things on the back end. That's kind of like the trick to all. Yeah, that's like the trick to all this. So that's it's great that you guys are getting into other things. And this is a little bit off topic, but do you know what e-commerce platform you guys are using
for our website? Or
yeah, for the website?
I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. All I know is that we are working on improving our website, and for those reasons too, just to make it a more usable site and make it easier for people to do exactly what you said. What else should I buy, and what's going to be the best answer for my needs? That kind of thing.
Right.
So I actually don't know that part.
It seems like he's been on a little bit of a journey, like bootstrapping this thing. He's just been like selling this where he can. So probably it seems like the website part of it and the online advertising has just been like kind of secondary to him.
A little bit, and relying a little bit more on, because we've got, again, there's people out there that are selling this in their product mix, and that is wonderful. We've got some great customers, and I think we can actually help them by having a site that's a little bit more interesting. And then, there's other things that you want to do on a website, dealer finders, and, where can I actually go in and see one? And that goes back to the trade shows where people walk up and touch one. And we've got different price points. We have a good, better, best version of that flagship product. And it's based on price points. But when you see one like the original with the fabric and you touch and feel and you inflate it, that's the one. But if you're buying on price, then they're all still very nice. But then that's it's pictures versus touching and feeling in person. And it's a big product. It's not like every store can have one blown up in the middle of the aisle so you can go and see an Airbedz.
I mean, but you guys can reach out to bloggers. You guys can reach out to there's it just seems like this is like endless.
Absolutely. And I think that's when, I've reached out to a few. We've got a few influencers, a few bloggers, a few people that are going to start reviewing. But again, that's a little bit of a process. They need to get it. They need to review it. They need to take it out in the field.
Have you guys been able to get... I'm sorry. Have you
you
guys been able to get into any of the big box stores, or is it just smaller retailers?
A little bit of both. Big box, Jim has been there before. It's a little bit more on the e-commerce side, however, because of all the different sizes.
Gotcha.
Right. You need like a lot of different inventory.
Yeah, and it's hard for a person, if somebody walks in the store, then figuring out what is your vehicle and all the different fitments that have to happen with that. But if you go to the XUV and the car and truck mats, those are fairly universal, and those are easy. That's a perfect item to have in big box or really in any retail store. That's an easy go look at it and pick it up and buy. Airbedz are just a little bit unique in how you have to purchase based on your vehicle.
Do you guys have any, like, I don't see it and I don't know if it even makes sense, but like, what about like having like sheets to go over the mattress?
Yeah, you're speaking my language. As a female, I would, fitted sheets would be like, well, there you go. You can change the look. You can do so much with those. And that's just, what's going to be next on the list kind of thing. And I do want to mention, I don't know if I didn't say anything like this, but what's really cool about the Airbedz are the side inserts that we have. So you can actually buy an insert to fill that wheel well area, and then you can use it as a home mattress. So these really do answer the home air mattress. You've got guests coming over, and then the camping side. So it's kind of an investment. It's basically the air mattress that you can use for anything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about all kinds of products. I mean, I'm looking at...
we need you for new product development then.
The gears are turning.
Yeah, no, I
That's
mean,
good.
I look at the flatbed in the back of like a pickup truck, and I'm like, well, what if I roll off of this thing? Like, okay, well, how about you get some sort of rails to put on the side so I don't roll out of the
They got they got the tent. They got the tent that goes over it, right?
Yeah. We could do baby bumpers.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know.
Jason
no,
needs baby
that's
bumpers.
actually not it's not bad. I'm just making fun.
Yeah.
But the idea of the truck bed tent is, because I have both, and that is absolutely amazing. You're all protected in there, and you're keeping the bugs out, but you're off the ground, which is really nice.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge, be on the ground with the critters kind of person.
No, right. Like in, you ever see Naked and Afraid? Ever see that show? Never
No.
seen that show?
Oh, I love that show. That's a great show.
That show's, and it is these like you get like a male and a female, like a guy and a girl. Mostly, they've been changing it up, and they basically they don't have any clothes on. They're completely naked, and they get put out into like harsh conditions, like sometimes on like an island with like just sand. Like
yeah,
oh, good
insane.
Lord.
Like a swamp. It's
a
nuts.
swamp, and and that's exactly what they say. Like they try to lift themselves off the ground so that all the bugs and stuff don't crawl all over them. So you just reminded me of that when you said that. So.
Yeah, no, and I'm looking at some of the images that sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's actually a really good show. It really.
No, I mean, it sounds like a good show, but it just sounds like, awful to be out there. And like you said, you want to be off the ground for sure in that particular situation.
They get bit up. I mean, there's sometimes people they get hurt. They have to be rescued. It's really a good show.
It's a really cool show. Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah,
it is.
And we, depending on where you are, because I lived in Missouri for a long time when we played, if you want to call it beach volleyball, but we play volleyball by the river. We had to play that, spray the whole entire court with bug spray before we could play, which is nasty. But the idea of camping under the stars is great if you live someplace like California or where there are no bugs. And then it's a little less interesting if you're in the, the swamp or wherever you might be and the bugs are out.
And where are you guys?
California.
Oh,
So,
there you go.
Yeah, so we're good. But having been lived in Missouri and some other places, there are places where you just don't sleep out under the stars.
And how has COVID affected you? I imagine, obviously you can't do the trade show thing, which you guys are used to, but it seems like this could be like an opportunity. People want to get out, they want to go camping. And I feel like the camping industry went up because of COVID, because it was one thing that you could still do and be outside. How has that been for you guys?
It has actually been good, and you've hit all the points. I think people are really starting to think more about staying home, or at least staying local. And there's so many amazing things to see that you don't even know about that are in driving distance. So if all you have to do is get your mattress together and get yourself on the road, I think it's an incredible option. And then not having being able to sleep in your car or your truck or wherever you might be. It just seems, I think RV sales are way up. So I think people are absolutely doing more of the staycation and driving and actually seeing the United States, which is incredible. There's some, like I said, some really great places. And you see pictures of Mount Whitney and all these different places where some of our customers are going with their mattresses. And it makes you want to get out there too.
Yeah, this is I think it's a really cool idea. I think he's tackled probably the hardest thing is like just the different vehicles, but I don't know. I think this is like actually really cool. I'm not really an outdoorsman. I like I like to play golf. If you
Okay.
can figure out how I can roll around the golf course on a bed like this.
Well, you can just park. You just park in the parking lot and just you'll be the first one there.
That's right. You just hang out.
Hang out. So what do you guys now? You guys, how do you guys handle new products? Do you guys I don't know if you want to like talk about this, but do you guys like just kind of create your own, or you guys just find manufacturers and white label them? Like, how do you guys go about coming up with new products? Because, I think like a lot of people listening probably have like one main product, and, product development is not a really easy thing to do. I'm just curious how you guys go about that process.
Yeah. And I believe that's more, Jim is just incredible about solving problems. And I think that's what it's about, is what is the next problem to solve. And he's incredible at that. And I think it's part of him being an outdoorsman and actually being out there using products or finding something that could be a little bit better. But then it's also not necessarily just, I think white labeling would be right, just finding somebody else's product and kind of making it your own. I think it's more about inventing something or coming up with the next new unique item, and then having it manufactured. But being a little bit more on the ownership side as far as finding the factories that can make what you want and do it well.
Got it. Yeah, we have a client right now who we work with, who the owner of the company, he's just like a MacGyver kind of guy. He just like he's like inventing something any chance he gets. He goes, and sits out in his garage and he makes all kinds of things. And seems like that's kind of how Jim is. Like he's just kind of likes to invent things. Yeah. And I think that's probably accurate. I'm answering for someone, so I'm not sure. But I think once you do this and you have such great success, I think for me too, or anybody, you get the fever. Like, oh, wow, what else can I make? And I think it's just in my world really intimidating in the beginning of something like this. I would assume it had to be that you have this great idea and then what? And the fact that he was able to solve that and do what he needed to do to bring his idea to fruition is extremely impressive. But I do think that you just keep going then. You've got a successful product, and then sometimes you don't want to just have an item. You want to be an answer to everybody's problems as far as what is the best way to enjoy the outdoors and events and do what I want to do, and what else can we add to the mix as far as products are concerned. Yeah, I mean, we see that, you can double your revenue pretty much by selling a second product to your current customers. We were just running an offer for our business that, we would send out an email. We would make $3,000, $4,000. We would send like an email, like that email would go out to like, 50,000 people. And we do $3,000, $2,000, $4,000, whatever. Then we sent out an email to the people who have actually purchased from us in the past. So these people know us, they like us, they trust us. We sent out one email, and in like 12 hours, it did almost $20,000.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's like, people who buy things from you, who they like you already, who they trust, that they trust you already. It's just so much easier to sell to those people, and it's why it's important to have more than one product. You can bring people in through this one product, but then via email, via other means, social media, sell them other things. And that's really where the most profit comes from, because you've already acquired the customer, so to speak.
Absolutely. No, and that's an excellent point. And the thing is too, you make a quality product, people don't have to, they've got it. They don't have to keep buying it every year because it's not going to go bad. So then the matter is, what else do you drive? People drive a truck, they've got a car, what's the next product for those people? And that's an excellent point, because the Airbedz are a great product and they last. So you've got your mattress. Now you need, what else, like you just said, what else can we sell you that you're going to need for this camping experience?
Right. And, you know, the thing is like, it's such a custom product that
Mhm.
if you want to sell me some, you know, sheets, it's not like I'm going to go try to rig them up from like, you know, Walmart or somebody or somewhere, because like
Mhm.
it's not custom to what I bought, you know, where you guys can
Right.
say, okay, this is just for this bed. This is just for
Mhm.
that bed, if that's the case. Yeah, I mean, you probably can go in a lot of different
I think
directions.
No,
that's the,
it's true. Yeah, and you know, and you can't. Everybody puts something on top. It's a sleeping bag or it's something. You're not just going to be laying just directly on the mattress. So, and you're right. Dressing up the product or doing something that's going to make that even more interesting or more comfortable or just, you know, better for you is great. And you know,
plus
that's the way to start thinking.
how long does a person stick with the same truck or car? You know, every
That's a good
3 or
point
4
too.
years. So
Oh,
there's
that's a really good point.
opportunity there. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's a mindset that a lot of people struggle with as far as like digital marketing
Mhm.
goes, because it can be, you know, expensive to acquire a customer. I don't know how much it costs you to manufacture your product, and I don't honestly even know how much you sell it for right now. But even if it costs you like $100 to acquire a customer, if you know that people are okay, then they're going to buy a tent, and then they're going to buy a beer pong raft, which I see that you have,
Mm.
and like this cooler.
Yeah.
It's like it takes the stress off of the, you know, the acquisition side of it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like we have that problem a little bit with our business.
Mhm.
We've sold the business is a which actually I think would be a kind of a good fit for our audience, would be this product, is because it's a wildlife photography audience, and they're always out. And you know,
Oh.
our partner who is the wildlife photographer, he's always like out in the middle of nowhere. He sleeps in his car, I'm sure, every once in a while. And I think that,
Mhm.
you know, that's another, you know, place where this goes outside of
It's
camping.
true. Absolutely. And I was talking to somebody about, I think it was NASCAR, but the car races, and I didn't realize how many people sleep on the field. And even some of the drivers, if they're not as far up or whatever it might be, they need to be there. They need to be able to get where they want to go quickly. And even this woman I was talking to that does more social media and, you know, more marketing in that world, she sleeps in her car at the races. Like, well, then you need a mattress. And then, like you said, the people that are fishing, there's so many different industries and wildlife photographers or anybody that's out there doing hunting, fishing, whatever. I think that's what, like, keywords are going to make a difference too. And you need to show some wildlife photographers out there with a mattress, you know, and that's a struggle a little bit, is to find those great images and to show it in different worlds.
Well, you got to make it a priority, really.
Mhm.
Because you know, we had a guy on here, Christian, who has like these like survival kits, and he basically
Mhm.
said that, you know, when he started creating or taking images of the product actually in action, you know,
Mhm.
that's really when things started taking off for him, because, you
Mhm.
know, it's hard to explain what his product does. So I think it's the same
Okay.
sort of thing. So something definitely to look into.
Absolutely.
That's where the
Sure.
digital
Yeah.
stuff can be huge too, because then you can
Mhm.
start, you know, you get the customer, you get their email, then you can, you know, start asking them for their own pictures.
Right.
And
Right.
you give them something in return, maybe, or, you know, the user generated content can be a really huge thing. So
Right.
so what's next for Airbedz? What are you guys up to? I mean, I know the show thing is kind of, I don't know where that's at. Are you guys, is that opening back up at all? What are you guys working on now?
Yeah, hoping that the shows are going to open up. I think, and that's one of those, just, are they going to, and who's going to attend? There are a few shows that seem to be opening up again, so we'll do all of those. I honestly think the next steps are going to be more about the influencers and like the social media side, getting people out there in the field using these, reviewing these, doing all the things that we were just talking about, so people are finding us, and we're helping them discover what our product is. So definitely taking more field pictures with different people in different industries and different, you know, hikers, bikers, whatever it might be.
Yeah, and
So
one of our clients that we're working with right now, we started working with them, I don't know, like 3 years ago.
mhm.
Um, they were like, I don't know, they did like 1.5 when we started working with them. 2 years later, they're on track to do about 10 million right now.
Wow.
And they used a lot of influencers. We could definitely talk about that. It's a bit of a headache. Managing them, making sure they use the product. But there's definitely, if you do it right, it definitely can help. But that's like a job for like an entire person.
It's true. And we've got home mattresses too, which are really, really nice, and actual camping mattresses for the tent. So there's other products too that we have where the product is a little bit more about the Airbedz and the more the flagship type products that are out for the car and the vehicle. But we have some really, really great home mattresses. And that's, again, the struggle about how do you get the word out there to those people about the other options that you have in the world of air mattresses and just sleeping in comfort.
That's really cool. We're definitely gonna have to talk after this and see maybe how we can work together. Who knows? And we can have a where are they now kind of interview in a couple of years after you're making millions.
Absolutely. I love those. I love the Shark Tank, like when you go back to that particular show too and say, what happened? Where did they go?
I was actually just talking to our producer about that this morning, because we've over the last month or so, we've had you're our fourth interview of people who are on Shark Tank, and it's kind of like where are they now kind of situation. So it's cool. Well,
even telling your success story about the customer that you have that has, through the process of working with you, gone from where they were to really increasing their sales. That's impressive.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually come up with like a product that I think will do really well. It's like how to get rid of your business partner cheaply.
See, what did I tell you? What did I tell you, Christine? See?
How to inexpensively get
you guys have been together too long.
He's a big jerk. I told you.
I was warned. I was pre-warned.
Yeah,
I tried.
No, but yeah, I mean, we we have some success stories like that where. Even our own wildlife photography business, like the guy listened to our podcast and he's like, I can't afford to pay you guys, but I'll partner with you. So that's what we did. And, I think it's just taken off. So
I think that's great. I think it's really interesting to see how many people are out there doing that entrepreneurial thing. There's so many amazing products, and a lot of it really is how the message is getting out there and finding the customers.
Yeah, that's the trick, I guess, right?
As we all know, where is the magic button that I switch on?
Yeah, right.
Right. Exactly.
So where can everyone find you? Check out these Airbedz.
Definitely on our website. It's truckairbedz.com. We do have a website, so you can go and see some products there. Our Instagram page, I would say, is starting to show quite a few more lifestyle photos and images that we've gotten from our customers, and those are amazing. So I'd say definitely check out the Instagram account. And we're putting in some nice videos of the mattresses on Facebook as well. So at this point, and then you'll find a lot of resellers that have them. So just Googling Airbedz, we'll find a lot of good resellers that have them where they might be a little bit more local and shipping won't be as much as coming from California. But lots of great places to find them.
And that's Airbedz with a Z, right?
Correct. AIRBEDZ.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Christine. It's been great hearing your story. Thank you.
I appreciate that you guys took the time to talk to us. Thank you for that too.
Absolutely. Thank you.
These interviews never fail me, Jason. She was new to the company, so I was a little concerned, but it really came out to be a really, really fun discussion. And we talked for a long time afterwards about, potentially speaking to them about helping them, which is a cool opportunity. I really like the product. It's a really cool product. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, exactly. They just need some help bringing it to digital, which is nice. But really nice person, and look forward to working with them.
Yeah. Possibly. One of the bigger things we talked about was like actually changing the mindset of like going from non-digital to digital can be really tough.
Yes.
And that's probably one of the biggest barriers we're going to have. So we'll see.
Yeah. See how it goes.
Facebook course, Jason, go check it out.
ecommerceuncensored.com/truth.
Check it out. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been episode 207. As always, you can check us out at ecommerceuncensored.com. Talk to you guys real soon.
Later.